Sports Nation,
What?
why didn't Melo work in OKC?
It starts on the court.
Yeah, well.
Melo,
and then
Melo.
we'll have the latest. Katie, again. I need him to stop.
Will y'all leave that dude alone?
Will he leave us alone?
Can he live his life?
Can we live
Can you
ours?
stay off his page?
And this happened to Marcellus the other day.
Whoa.
That they
What?
dunked on.
Oh, the one that dunks?
Yeah.
Sports Nation.
Sports Nation is presented by Toyota.
I will say that I am a little tired of doing the stories about KD beefing back and forth.
Yeah, let KD live.
But you know what happened? Once he had the burner, he couldn't live.
Yeah, right.
You know, the burner allowed him not to live anymore. So.
Yep. Got the storyline, brother.
Right.
You gave it to us.
Yeah,
so.
sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, KD. Meanwhile, Carrie Champion here with Marcellus Wiley. Oh, LZ Granderson, how do we feel?
What, it's the end of the Uber ride almost?
No, I'm just sad you're leaving. How many days? Oh.
And I know you would leave.
It's all right. He'll be
Are we
back. They
sad?
always come back.
I ain't what? Who said I'm leaving first? Where you going? Who said I'm leaving?
He ain't going nowhere. All right, so first up, guys, we're
Not
talking
today.
about the Warriors. After the annual Board of Governors
today.
meeting in Las Vegas, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said the league is looking into methods to create a more competitive balance between the East and the West. He also discussed the Warriors' dominance and its impact on the league. Let's take a listen.
Dynasties are nothing new in this league. You know, there's a long history of it, and I also think it's hard to make comparisons to other sports. But having said that, there are changes we can make to the system that I think will create more competitive balance and more equality of opportunity. And those are things we look at. Let me make clear that under the current system right now, we want teams to compete like crazy. So I think the Warriors, within the framework of this deal, should be doing everything they can to increase their dominance. That's what you want to see in a league. You want teams to compete in every way they can within the rules, and if it makes sense to make some adjustments in the rules next time, we'll look at that.
Silver adds that he doesn't think that the Warriors' dominance is bad. Steph Curry recently talked to USA Today Sports, and he gave his opinion on the idea of the Warriors ruining basketball, saying, quote, "So everybody says how we're ruining the NBA. I love that phrasing. It's the dumbest phrase ever. We're always trying to find a way to get better. If we were just happy with winning a championship and staying stagnant, we wouldn't be doing ourselves justice." So everyone feels as if their dominance isn't an issue. I turn over to you, Marcellus. Is this really a ridiculous thing that we're talking about? You're too dominant. Is there something ever so has been considered a problem in sports?
Well, you know what? To me, right now, we've hit a point where the hypocrisy is at a fever pitch. If you think about it, Adam Silver just said it. Ever since we've been watching basketball, and even before we watched basketball, let's go to the BC era when the Boston Celtics in the 60s had
BC before Christ.
Yeah,
I'm talking about BC, like before I start watching them go out there and get it.
Oh, okay.
This is a situation where we always had dominance. We always had Goliaths. Yeah. And you go to the 80s and you talk about the Lakers and the Celtics. Sure. You got the Bulls, then you get the Spurs and the Lakers again. Then you go Golden State and wherever LeBron's at. That's it. It's always been that simple. Why now draw the line that Golden State has been the one ruining basketball when it's been born and raised in this same system?
I agree with you, but I do understand why people are saying this, and this is why.
Why?
There are fans, and there certainly are some owners who are a little bit upset that these players are now taking control of their own futures and their own destinies. They're not upset at the dominance of the Warriors. They're upset that KD chose to join the Warriors to make them even more dominant. They're upset with him empowering himself. They're upset with the LeBron and Wade and Bosh deciding that they're going to form this team in Miami. They were okay with dominance when GMs were doing the drafting and the trades.
They've never been okay with dominance.
They've been okay with
Lakers,
dominance.
remember when the Lakers were dominant and then they came in and we wanted CP3? I will never forget that. And then they vetoed CP3.
Yeah, that was
like,
a good point.
remember? Like, we were too.
But that was coming on the heels.
That the Lakers were getting ready to destroy the league.
Yeah, that was coming on the heels of the new CBA,
That's right.
and you're not supposed to take advantage of the CBA as a large market team.
But with that being said, there are some things that Adam Silver and the commissioner could do to help make this more difficult for teams to have these guys join up. Like luxury tax, for instance. If they increase the luxury tax, so instead of whatever percentile it is now, if they double that percentile, owners will be less inclined to want to have these teams all join, have these guys all join up because they'd be penalized even more financially for doing so. And of course, they can.
What do you feel? Because you gave me what the story is, but how do you feel? Do you think it's good or bad for the NBA?
No, I think if you look at the ratings says that the fans don't care. that they love it. And I believe that if you're going to have a situation in which you want to see Goliath fall, you first have to set up Goliath. You don't have any weak Goliaths, so Goliath has to dominate in order for us to enjoy his failure.
Yeah, I'm all in on it.
Yeah, and so we're showing the number of teams to win a title by decade since the 60s. And as a matter of fact, you're right. And no one was complaining about the Celtics or New York and Boston or the Lakers or the Bulls. So, yeah, you're right. Dominance in the NBA is a good thing. Meanwhile, we're going places presented by Toyota. Okay, Thea. Did I get there, guys?
You wrote that down? What time you get in?
I did not write that.
What time she gets in?
The Thunder are actively working on trade scenarios for Carmelo Anthony. Melo was given permission to meet with the Rockets and the Heat in hopes of getting him to waive his no-trade clause as a precursor to the deal. So now we bring in our Thunder reporter, Royce Young. Royce, why are the Thunder so eager to part ways with Carmelo?
Money, Gary. There's a lot of money to be saved right here if you can unload Carmelo Anthony off the books. You guys are talking about the luxury tax. Well, in the case of the Thunder, it is just as punitive as it needs to be because the Thunder could save something like $100 million just by buying out Carmelo Anthony and stretching his contract over 3 years. So, but what Oklahoma City is trying to do here is maximize the asset that they have. And so they're calling around. They're seeing if they can negotiate a trade. They understand Melo has some desired locations that he would like to go to: Houston, Miami, maybe the Los Angeles teams are in that mix as well. And the Thunder are seeing if they can get something in return, so it's not just a complete sunk cost just to have to pay Carmelo Anthony to go away. Okay, so Royce, you just said something. You said $100 million. They could save potentially up to that much. But earlier, my esteemed and bright colleague Marcellus White said the issues started on the court. What are the on-the-court dynamics? How do they play into this, getting rid of Carmelo? That's a great point, Carrie, because a lot of this has to do with the fact that Carmelo Anthony didn't completely mesh with Paul George and Russell Westbrook. So, look, if you can save $100 million, you're going to try to save $100 million. But if the Oklahoma City Thunder were coming off an appearance in the Western Conference Finals where they were the team that pushed the Golden State Warriors to 7 games and Carmelo was this natural fit as a stretch 4 and everything was beautiful, then they might be willing to stomach that type of penalty to bring back the team. But the fact of the matter is it wasn't a natural fit on the court. And Paul George and Russell Westbrook were not comfortable playing alongside Carmelo Anthony. So there is this element alongside the fact that you can save money, which is a huge bonus. But there is this element of addition by subtraction. You subtract Carmelo Anthony, you bring out a little better Paul George and Russell Westbrook. That tandem makes a little more sense, and the Thunder might improve just by the fact that they don't have Carmelo on the team anymore. All right, that's our Royce Young. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports Nation. Addition by subtraction. Get rid of Carmelo, and then you'll see a different Russell Westbrook and Paul George. You agree with that?
I don't agree with that necessarily. Look, let's start where it really begins, where money talks, and we're going to follow the money to see what the motion and the actions are going to be of this franchise. Beyond that, Carmelo on the court wasn't horrible. Carmelo, compared to Carmelo in his career, was bad. But Carmelo for this team as a third fiddle, 16 points, shooting the 3 ball, 38, 39%, catch and shoot. Okay, that would have led the Lakers last year, and that's what, matter of fact, that would lead the Lakers going forward this year if you had Carmelo.
The Lakers.
No, just because the Lakers are second favorite to upset Golden State this year. So all I'm saying is I think it's grandly being exaggerated how bad Carmelo was for a reason, for a narrative, to trade him, to make him expendable. In part, you got to exaggerate.
But that doesn't help if they say how bad he was.
Well, bad for their situation, but still good if he can go where he desires.
I don't think it's really about the money. I think it is about his play on the court. I think he was bad for the team, and this is why. When they made the trade for him, this luxury tax that we were talking about, this $100 million, this isn't breaking news. No. They knew that could be the damage by keeping him on as a team, but they made the move anyway. Why? Because they believed he was going to be worth it. So his play on the court wasn't worth it. That's why they want to give it $100 million. If it had worked out, they would have kept him.
Well, that's not all true because they didn't think in that moment that they were going to get Paul George necessarily. So Paul George factors in that equation. They were on a recruiting trip. Turns out it worked. Turns out Paul George didn't even give the Lakers a meeting. Turns out now we're a little tighter around here than anticipated. We desire Paul George, but no one thought that was going to become a reality. It did. Now you look at Carmelo, and you change the value of Carmelo and what he did last year.
What if Carmelo plays for the Cavs, guys? Just think about that. We're going to be all right, according to Jordan Clarkson. He's pretty confident in his Cavs heading into the post-LeBron era. In an interview with Cleveland.com yesterday, Clarkson said last season was a learning experience and he's prepared for the Cavs' next playoff run. He went on to say, and I quote, I feel like we're going to shock a lot of people this year just because LeBron left. I feel great about the team. Coaching staff, they got a lot of belief in the guys. So I'm just ready to strap it up and get ready for this season.
Were you playing football now? Strapping it up?
I don't know.
You better play football. They got a better chance this year.
So will the Cavs shock the world, LZ?
I think they will, and this is why.
Oh, Lord.
I believe that most people believe this is now a 15 to 20 win team.
Oh, okay.
Without LeBron James.
Okay.
So it will be a shock if they're like 40 to say 42 wins. Obviously, they're still not in contention to make it to the NBA Finals,
Sure.
but they're not as bad as some people say. They still got Kevin Love there. They still have shooters there. Their rookie right now is making noise in Summer League. So is the other second-year player, Shady Osman. So they may not be as bad as people are predicting because LeBron James is gone. I believe that's what Jordan Clarkson is saying. Though I do believe Jordan Clarkson should not be the person saying these things based on the way he performed in the
Did you
finals.
just see those starters?
Did
you see those starters?
I mean, listen, there's something to be said about a team with pride, and that is a team that is used to winning. They're going to have pride. They have professional veterans like George Hill in that squad who's not just going to roll over and just let dudes walk on because LeBron's not there anymore.
When you were making your point, you go hardcore at the table.
Yeah. He beat up his glass. Look. All you got is that pride is cute, but that pride ain't got points, and that pride is not players. LeBron kept this thing together, man, more than any player ever. No other player in history could have dragged this squad, this squad to the finals, and now I'm going to be shocked how sorry they're going to be next year. They're going to be I'm going to be shocked like, how many Liz? You said 15 to 20? I take the 2. No, 15. I think 15. I mean, dude, they're going to be stinking bad.
Remember that?
Yes, I do remember this play. But also keep in mind, how did this play happen? Because J.R. Smith got an offensive rebound. That had nothing to do with LeBron.
That's true.
So what I'm saying is that we're discussing these guys like they're all completely scrubs because that's a scenario. LeBron doesn't have any help. This is their opportunity with Kevin Love as an all-star to show that, okay, we're not as great as we were with LeBron, but we're not going to be 15 wins.
Breaking news. Man, will you stop?
But I didn't call them scrubs. I stopped short.
They're not scrubs individually. They're just going to be a scrub team. They don't have star power. Kevin Love was an inconsistent star himself, and now he's the leader. Colin Sexton is a beast. I know that's going to turn out well. But so what? You're in the East now with Boston, Toronto, Philadelphia, just for starters right now off of day one. This team collectively.
So you went 15-20.
I said people think
that's what he thinks.
What do you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if they won 35 games.
And you? You're giving them 2.
I'll take the under.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to go with that too, but I'll go over on 2.
All right, coming up next, folks. Kevin Durant back to responding to the internet trolls. Fellas, why? Why
Even
can't
Jose
he do
Calderon
it?
was upset.
Why
We're going to
not?
find out why he's doing it.
Let him live.
Let him live, I guess.
Let us live first.
Sports Nation.
Or the father. No.
I know, right?
Welcome back to Sports
Oh,
Nation.
man.
Another Marcellus moment defending your quarterback.
Yeah, right. Y'all messing with my taxes talking about that.
So tell me,
man.
what just spurred that on, my friend?
Oh, man, well produced right there.
Oh,
That was the crew and staff just walking me through the beats. Obviously, you know what we were doing there, Jerry Springer. But to relate it to Romo, because I'm a big Romo fan. Obviously, now everybody's a Romo fan because of him being a broadcaster. But as a quarterback, I'm a big Romo fan. So it was just funny just going against the fray as normal. Clip City, Chip City, Romo, all
Was he in Dallas when he was there?
I was in Dallas. He was a 4th-string quarterback, almost cut because of injury, stayed on the squad, turned into the franchise quarterback. That's why I got love for that dude.
Okay, so is he one of the best in your mind?
No, I'm not going that far. But I do judge a man by the distance traveled. And if you're Tony Romo, you go from 4th string to who he became.
Wow.
Respect, brother.
Man, that's a Wileyism for your butt.
Actually, I stole that from Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin stole that from my dog. Yeah, I ain't no thief.
Back to the association we go. I knew you didn't think of that.
Hell no.
Say it with your chest. A teenage Instagrammer made a post about quote-unquote elite two-way players who don't elevate their teams, like LeBron and Steph. And then he tagged KD. KD was not having any of it, clapped back from his real account saying, go sweep your dorm room, you don't know hoops. It then went to DMs, guys, where Durant called him a middle school knockoff Stephen A. And then he essentially went back and forth with him. And KD said that he was an upset kid, and the kid called him insecure. Marcellus.
Yes.
Well, I like this one thing. He said, you are a middle school knockoff Stephen A. Okay. Really?
Win. So good.
When it gets that ridiculous, are you upset by it, or do you enjoy it, or do you think KD just needs to
First of all, I'll take offense to you calling that ridiculous.
Oh, is
that is under the constructs of what social media was intended to be. Which
is not.
Yes.
It was supposed to talk to fans. It wasn't
contraire, mon frere.
Facebook commercial. They didn't say nothing about doing that stuff.
Oh, y'all call Facebook after the commercials. I call Facebook organically when they were just going around saying, hey, Ivy League, remember it started here. Okay, so this is what it was. Okay. Direct transmission between friends, and then it turned into celebrities and athletes, etc., right? Direct transmission. That means you come at me nice, I can come at you nice. You come at me mean, I can come at you mean. That was the original constructs of this. And now we expect KD, because he has hundreds of millions in championships and finals MVP, to be a prisoner of his own success and can only talk in a positive scope while the rest of the world, them normal mortals, get to come at him any direction? Hell no. Do you, KD?
Marcellus, though, you're missing the point.
I'm not.
Because, first of all, social media wasn't invented so that you could just go at people.
No,
you are supposed to express your opinion.
I didn't say that.
No, but the reality is, do you know how much time we'd spend on social media all day if we went at people who said we sucked or we weren't good at what we did?
But he doesn't do it all day. He picks some.
How do you know?
Because he picks a couple and we blow it up out of proportion.
How do you know? Because we already know he has burner accounts. You don't know if he's got new burner accounts.
Okay.
He might be doing it multiple times.
You know what? That's shame on you and shame on me and shame on you. If KD is spending his whole day coming at trolls and still is KD, we need to get our game up in life, because if he's finding time to do that and still be second best basketball player in the world, kudos to him.
You know what has blessed my life? Mute.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Goes a long way.
But why? Why you can't interact? He's not coming to the dude's house and saying you won't smoke. He's just saying, look, you said something to me, I said something to you. You took it, I took it. You gave it, I gave it. Why be a prisoner?
I will say this. There are those times you do want to just light somebody up.
No,
I do have those moments. I
have a serious question. I have a serious question.
Yeah.
Why don't you?
I know I do.
Okay, but there it is.
I do. So I said I understand what Kevin Durant is going through, but my point is you just can't get engrossed in that, because it brings down your entire spirit. I don't want to go Oprah on you.
Oh, that was full Oprah right there.
I don't want to go
That
Oprah.
was.
Coming up next.
Brown girl. She went brown girl on me.
You my biggest brown girl.
Hey,
you like this workout, brown girl?
Oh, yeah.
Saquon Barkley getting it in. He better than you. Is that Marcellus or who is that? Is that Marcellus?
Oh, man, I can't go 54 inches. Nah, them days behind me. This Sports Nation.
All right, here we go. It's time for winners and losers. First up, winner quad, Saquon Barkley, Todd Gurley, getting it.
Yes.
350-pound deadlift, a 42-inch box jump.
Oh, that's 42.
Yeah, you got that right. You thought it was 30.
I thought it was 54, but
54.
They get up to that. Yeah, shout out to JaVale Gaines. Saw him this weekend. World-class trainer.
What did you see him to do?
I saw him at a birthday party.
Okay, you didn't go work out.
Hell no. What I'm going to do? But you know what? The crazy thing about this is I saw Saquon Barkley. He is beyond a physical specimen. Really? Like, it's next level. This dude is insane. Good work right there.
All right, so you did that, though, when you were younger.
Oh, yeah. Come on now. Y'all know who y'all talking to?
Curly's back there. How come you're not focusing on Todd?
I had a 39.5-inch vert. Yeah, I did.
All right. Winner upset, top seed, Roger Federer upset by Kevin Anderson. Obviously, you and I were just talking about this in the makeup room. So, defending champion Federer.
I'm not okay.
Yeah, what's that about?
Not okay. He's up 2-0. He's got match point in the third. And then it just unrivaled.
How? That's
Kevin Anderson got hot.
Yeah. At least top 10 player. I get that.
Yeah,
but, man,
you know what happens? You get comfortable, you loosen up your shoulders, and you start freeing.
That $300 million he just got.
But shout out to John Isner.
We got
America
2 more
in the
days
semifinals.
with Marcellus. Sad.
One
Highly
tier,
questionable
y'all.
next.
One tier.